Drink up, Mr. Deer. Much happier. Yes. You don't get to go just be on YouTube because you want to. Morning, Mission Control. Well, you know what? It's not morning anymore, it's afternoon. Wearing some different clothes today. It was 63 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. It was gorgeous. And today is another beautiful day, so I actually got to dress down a little bit here from all the warm clothes we've been in, and man, it is really nice out in this office right now. I had to turn the heater on a little bit, but with the heater from this thing and just a little bit of heat, it's pretty comfortable. A little chilled still, but compared to where it was, we're doing great. Speaking of not doing great, came out here this morning and had a crow's nest. One of the wires, I think I told you in a previous video, they're sending me a wire cover, and one of the wires I did not get strapped up far enough, and it hooked onto the filament that was printed, pulled it back, and created a big crow's nest. So my wife caught that to put up on Instagram. Oh, so embarrassing, and definitely not the way you want to start the day. So what I've done is I've simplified the print and got it down to 5 hours by only printing one of the sections at a time here, so that today I can actually watch the whole thing and it's not going to go overnight, because the overnight problems that we're having, which is what I had on my first printer, so to be expected, but still unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate, so the events in the world going on right now, it is March 19th in real time here, but by the time you guys see this, it'll be far past that. The world's headed for a tough spot right now, and I would be pretending if that wasn't getting to me. It's interesting how I get criticized out in the public square. If you think about these things, you're criticized because you're spreading fear. If you don't think about them, you're an idiot. And this is really impacting us. We had already taken a big risk, and I certainly wasn't planning on some global pandemic and crashing of the economic system around me when we decided to make that decision. I'm really happy that we live where we're at. We're blessed to live here, and if everything does go horribly wrong, I hope it doesn't come to that. We're in a good spot. Today's been a really tough day for me. I'm supposed to be having faith, and I am doing that. Every time I have a bad thought, you have to confront that thought and just say, no, you have faith. God has got your back. You're going to be okay, no matter what happens. Ultimately, I have salvation. So, in the end, nothing can really hurt me. That is a good thing, but still, I'm a human, and even Jesus had a hard time when he knew he was going to die. So, I'm kind of feeling that way right now. But who wants to be negative Nancy all the time? You got to pull yourself up. You got to have faith. You got to keep on. Life keeps going on. So, as an example of things getting hard with all this, things like this where the printer crow's nest, before COVID, not a big deal. Amazon would be here in 2 days, if not the next day, with more filament. I had 2 rolls of filament, but we're printing so big right now that we're going through it really fast. The more mistakes I make, the more we run out, and the lead time is getting longer and longer and longer. So instead of 2 days, it'll be here in next week. This thing just stopped printing because it ran out of filament, so I got to reload it with the next thing of filament, and that's all time. And as time ticks away, mortgage payments, insurance, we're spending $1,300 a month on Cobra insurance right now, and honestly, we're not going to use it, and we haven't used it, so I think we're going to stop that and go to the absolute bare minimum, because who wants to go to the hospital right now anyway? You're not going to get service if you go. So it's a really interesting time. But hey, you guys are probably having a rough time. You don't want to watch me being negative all the time. So what we're going to do, get this thing going again with some filament, and then we actually got the digester and digestate tanks are here. We got to get them moved out to the site, but there's a whole bunch of parts for them that I don't have yet because of COVID, long delays, and financial bank phone calls taking forever to move money around to get purchasing going. All I can do today is move them out to the site, and so we're going to do that, and then I'm going to clean the stalls, because good hard work is good for the soul, and good physical work when you see a problem and you clean it up and you feel good afterwards. Makes you feel good. So we're gonna just get our hands dirty and get some physical labor and get this poo-poo feeling out of here. Where's the filament? So I use Hatchbox filament. It's a popular brand on Amazon. It's not the world's greatest, but for what we're doing with these prototypes, it doesn't have to be. It comes vacuum sealed because, like I told you, it doesn't like to get moisture in it. Here's what it looks like brand new. So we'll put this on. Now, you always got to be careful of crow's nesting when you first get these things, because they like to do that on you. If you've ever gone fishing, you know what I'm talking about. If you let this thing go, this whole thing, because it's spool tight, will just unspool on you. It'll despool. And that is bad. What we're going to do now is we're going to shove this up into this little sensor thing here. Resume. And then I get to stand here for a while, because we got to get all that filament. It's got to suck all the old filament through still, which is going to be pretty fast, because this thing is using the filament. It's really great that this printer has a resume feature for things just like this. If you get one of the lower end model 3D printers, they don't have a resume, so you've really got to make sure that you have all your filament loaded, which means you could go through partial spools that you then have to keep everything stored, because you're only using a piece of the spool. You got to keep track of everything, and I just don't want to deal with that. I've got plenty of other things to worry about, as I just shared, like paying the mortgage. To those people, I know there's somebody out there right now thinking this, oh, you're on YouTube, you got 31,000 subscribers, you're probably making tons of money and blah, blah, blah. And the answer is no way, dude. With 31,000 subscribers, we make between Patreon and YouTube about $300 a month. And that's publishing a video every day. Just so you know. It's not as, I think people think YouTube is lucrative. I think there's that sexy, I mean, I know I had it, so I'm speaking from my own experience. There's that sexy, hey, these people are making all this money and all they do is record their life. How fun is that? And the answer is that is just not the case. It's just not the case at all. So we're going to come to a point here where we're going to have to stop this thing. It's a lot of hard work to make videos, and I want to do better at it. I want to do a lot better at videos. I think we have a lot to offer here on our channel, but I haven't spent a lot of time pre-planning videos, because our priority to date has been, here we go, here comes the pause moment. Almost had it in on the go there. Anyway, I think our priorities have been get the project going, and YouTube has been a secondary priority. That's just a nice feature right there, guys. So nice. All right, so all that was just loading on the fly. We ran out of filament, had to sit here and wait for it to suck it through, and then just reconnected the new filament, and it picked up where it left off, and we're off to the races. So as you can see, they are big. Now what we've got here are some food grade poly tanks that I have personally gone through and updated so that we can actually turn them into digesters and digestate tanks. I'm going to go over that in more detail in future videos. So let's get some rope to tie this thing on. Figure out where I put all the rope after we did the shop. One of the things I was not good at in the Boy Scouts were knots. Probably lay it flat. I got a long pallet underneath of it, and it was almost balanced on there. Now you might be asking, why don't I take it from the side? It's a good question. And the answer is because the driveway is not wide enough where the fence is at. Got a plan for unload here. Pretty amazed at how well balanced they are. And they're not like, these are made by a company called Norwesco, very popular U.S. company for agricultural and well, basically any liquid tank. Those who have followed the channel before, you know the digester is underneath all that, and it's solid cement. These are a lot lighter. They should work a lot better too. I'm excited to get them in there, tell you guys all about it. It's always a challenge. I like to see if I can get it on the first shot. Of course, you guys are watching, so that probably means I won't. No, you gotta try. Come on, baby. I think I'm gonna mess it up. Yeah. You guys made me mess it up. It's all your fault. I'm back. Got it. All right, you didn't mess me up. Maybe you did mess me up, but I just recovered. Huh? How about that? All right. Ready to move some poo. With all the work that we've been doing in here, fabricating and then redoing the shop, I haven't been able to clean stalls in a while, but I think the animals knew what was going on because they really haven't been using the stalls all that bad to do their duty in, you know what I'm saying? So I'll probably get about 3 buckets out of here and then 4 more buckets, and there's 3 stalls that are being used. So I'm gonna get to that, but since the new shop is here, I'm gonna go crank up the tunes and enjoy it. You guys can't hear it, but Hootie and the Blowfish is going in the background. I can barely hear it. I will reassure you again that hard work definitely is good for the soul. For those that have followed along for a long time, remember the digester and the problem loading it? Look at the manure as I throw it in the bucket there. See the hay that's fallen into it and then gets trampled on. Cows definitely are more wasteful than horses. Horses tend to eat every little bit of anything. Cows kind of eat what they want. At least that's been my experience. But regardless, all this is good organic matter. And it would be great to go into a digester, and every time I shovel it, it's like, oh wow, that's a whole, you know, how many times can we cook dinner with that amount of gas? But because of all that straw, and when the manure gets dry, it floats. And that creates a really big problem, because you can't load it if it's floating. Another thing I want to do, I want to frame these stalls in and put a sliding door in That way these guys don't stick out when we're doing this. We can get in closer with the tractor. This one is not a big deal because it opens the right way, but the other ones open into the tractor. And that'll also protect the animals when we're welding and doing fabrication. These stalls are not bad at all. They look bad, but they could be a lot worse. Ooh, my nice floor. All right, come back for those guys. I'll see you when I'm done shoveling. All right, stalls are all cleaned. The animals are even coming up to check it all out for some exciting reason. They know that something's different. They're gonna be pretty happy getting in nice clean stalls. I also cleaned out in front on the west side. That's where there's an overhang, but water gets in there and they walk in it. Oh, come on, I'm recording here. I'm recording here. So it gets really mushy. So every year I clean that out. The tractor got that done. And I feel better. I feel better. Let's go check out the 3D printer and see how it's doing. Big Darla girl. That's our second cow come from Daisy the mama. That's Darla the mama. Well, she hasn't been a mama yet, but this year she's going to be a mama. Last year she was supposed to be a mama. Last year both of them were supposed to be mamas, but it didn't take. You don't get to go just be on YouTube because you want to. So like all this excitement. I cleaned the stalls and they're like, hey, what? And they're all coming. There's Big Mama. Look at how fat she is. Huh? Our animals are well fed. Yeah. How's it going, Daisy? Sometimes it's hard to tell those two apart now. They look so much alike. 3D printer, let's do it. Well, the print is going. I figured since it is almost 70 degrees out right now, I got to get a thermometer put up out here so I can see, but you can feel it. So I figured I might as well get the old tractor here ready. Just a flat tire. It sits in the overhang winter there, and then had this flat tire, and of course the battery's dead, so we'll get the charger on the battery, get this thing back to life. I wonder where all the pieces are at on this thing now. Yep, there it is. Oh, no, that'll work. That'll do. I was gonna say I plug it into my new ones on the bench there. I'm not used to having those. Hey, all right, well, it needs oil. I'm gonna have to order an oil filter or two for this guy. Drink up, Mr. Deer. Much happier. Yes, yes. Just want to be really clear, you know, if things get really bad and all that, we're not gonna be mowing the yard a lot, but we have this one section in front of the house where the dogs go to the bathroom and it's really nitrified and it grows a lot. And right now, it's about yay tall. And it needs to be trimmed, and it's going to make me feel better because my wife's going to enjoy it more. I'm going to enjoy it more. And you know, honestly, the smell of fresh cut grass is a very relaxing and homey, happy kind of smell. So let's see if I can't not blow myself up. Probably take a little bit here. She's been sitting for a while, Captain. Doesn't have a gas gauge on it on this particular one. I can see it's got gas in there, not a lot. Let me put some more in, I guess. Whoa! I don't want to use it like that, however. Leaking gas is not good. If anything, it's another good spot to store gas. It's about half full right there, I guess. Oh yeah, oh, fill it all the way up. Oh, she's full. She's full. All right, that gave the battery some time to get some sparkage. Okay, here we go. Nothing runs like a deer in order to push it. All right, so we got an error here. It says printing pause stall detected on drivers. What that means is that one of the motors got hung up. And I also see we've got a really kind of I think we're printing too fast, is my guess, because our filament is not, the second layer is not attaching to the first layer at all, which means this is another failed print. But you know, you got to go through this. You got to learn how to use the tool, like I said. So it's upsetting, but you know, Thomas Edison, he didn't have to invent the perfect light bulb the first time. He just had to stick with it and figured out the ones that didn't work, and then he got the one that did. So we need to change the settings here. I went very aggressive on it. Yeah, can you guys see that? Let me try to get you zoomed in. See those lines there? See, watch as I move my finger. See, that's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to adhere, and it didn't. And I think that's because I have it cranked up on the speed. The first layer is adhering nicely to the bed, but that second layer is definitely not working, and that's not going to work anyway. That's just too. We're getting closer and closer to something that looks like a grow wall, though. You can see this perforation here. This is not what we want. It actually did adhere up there, though. So that got 2 layers on it, but then they all come wonky over here. That might be a bed leveling issue too, which is my fault. So we probably want to go back through the leveling process, because it's right back here, but then it's not right out in the middle. All right, so we need to do some troubleshooting. Well, the good news is that doing some of that work, moving stuff around, getting the tractor in, getting the stalls all clean, it does. Just good old-fashioned hard work makes you feel better. And this is something that we'll fix. We'll figure this out. That's what we do. So I'm going to do some research, though. I'm going to look this up. It looks like a bed leveling problem to me, because we are getting a decent weave up here, even though it's way too, the spacing is too much as well. I went pretty aggressive on those settings, so I'm going to go back and check that out first. I think what I'll also do is I'm going to shrink the scale of it here. We'll get, you know, a small scale version done. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. We'll do that. We'll do like 25% scale. Well, but that's going to have different. If you scale with this nozzle, I don't think that's exactly the same thing. Well, we can try it. Why not? Let's see if scaling works. All right, so I just scaled it down to 50, and I slowed down the maximum speed. It was set to 3,600 RP or millimeters per minute. I slowed it down to 3,000. I might need to drop it down to like 2,500 in there, but we'll see how this one does on the second layer. So it looks like the first layer does fine, but the second layer is a real problem. I ordered some more PLA filament from Amazon, but like I said, it's supposed to get here next week. I should probably go ahead and order some more now, because it's obviously going to take me a little bit to get this practice figured out. I also could experiment dropping. I really don't want to drop the nozzle down below 1 because they are so big, but I really do need them to be sealed and tight and everything. So 1 might be too low of a resolution, so we might need to go down to like a 0.8 or 0.6 millimeter nozzle. We'll see. We'll see how this one turns out. Well, that is just odd. That second layer is just not adhering, which doesn't make sense because we printed that cube and it adhered really, really well. Well, we can stop that. So the cube that is their test cube, you know, they sent the file. It's printing great. So there's obviously something wrong with the slice that I've done here, how I'm setting up the slice, because this is definitely not working right. I mean, we got good bed adhesion, but that second layer is crap. I got obviously wrong settings somewhere. I need to go figure this out. So I am gonna go off camera here, and I might even send them an email saying, what am I doing wrong? Because I've obviously got something wrong in the settings file for this. But yeah, you know, if you get a printer, this is what you go through figuring out how to use it. You know, like I said, I did it for the CR10 as well. It just takes a little bit to figure out the magic of the printer. So yeah, let's go do some research, figure this out, this is not a major problem. The only bad thing about this, like I said, is expected, is that I just have to order more filament, and I'm worried about the filament getting here because of everything going on with COVID right now. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be freaking out because it's just a matter of figuring this out. For those that are not familiar, this is recyclable material. We'll take care of it. You can actually get a chopper upper that'll grind stuff and you can recycle it, but that is a very expensive piece of equipment. It's up there with this one. As far as it's measured in thousands. You can get ones that are in the hundreds, but they're garbage, and it takes more time to deal with it than it's worth. So, but it is recyclable, so we'll get this thrown in the recycle bin, and we'll move on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, kind of just a de-stress day. I just got the yard all mowed, and I really was hoping for that fresh grass smell. Instead, what I got is a fresh dog poop that just went through the mower smell. You know what I'm talking about. And also some cow poop, because the cow got out and came up there and fertilized the yard as well, which would explain why it's so green up there. But beautiful day, just beautiful day. And it was nice to get some stuff done, get this, the scaling idea was a good idea. And we'll figure this out. But had some nice stress relief today. I think tomorrow's going to be a better day. So happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday for me. Like actual day of the week is Friday, so happy Friday. Hope you have a good weekend, if that's what's up for you, or if you're stuck inside. May these videos bring you some form of entertainment and peace. Thanks for following along. Remember, you could check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram if you'd like to help out with what we're doing. We could sure use the help. Patreon's a good way to do that. In the meantime, everyone, this is The Real Martian. Out. Stay safe.